Welcome guys to round 2 of Next Top Singer season 11. It's time for this deliberation where we decide the top 30, or actually the judges are gonna decide the top 29 because the 30th spot goes to the audience star, which is a new thing this season. So as of this point, it's currently June 26th. The voting has not started, so we have no idea who's gonna get the audience star, so that's gonna come later. Which is gonna be exciting. So we have picked our top 29 and we're gonna decide top performance and everything, and if we have time we can do some honorable mentions. So we have 64 contestants. Let me tell you, it was so hard to narrow it down between my last 9. All of us are gonna paste our votes at the same time, and then I'm gonna sort it by in order, and then we're gonna discuss top performance and then the disagreements about who's gonna be top 29.
Okay.
I'm a little worried I was a little too harsh with my scoring.
I have a lot
My
of
average
6.
was probably like 6.
Me too.
Yeah, same.
That's,
I have a lot of 6.
that's including people who got through.
My 6 are like nose, soft nose.
Oh,
and
yeah, no, my notes are 5s.
My lowest
Oh.
score of those who got through were a 7.
my lowest is a 6.5. I think I'm just gonna have my highest score as top performance. I think that's the easiest.
I can understand if the total highest score wouldn't be top performance because that comes down to voting, but I don't understand your own score not being top performance. That doesn't make sense to
No,
me.
I mean, the reason why it got high score was because it's good, but I did have nitpicks. But then the other one, when it comes to like personal preference, it might be more to my liking and more of my favorite rather than the higher score. It's a little bit of the both.
Actually, my personal favorite of the round isn't my top performance, but that was reflected. But that was reflected in the score because I tried to be objective in my score.
I was between 2, so I kind of get what you guys are saying.
Time to paste our votes. Are you guys
3.
ready?
I'm nervous, but I should.
I'm nervous too.
1, 2, 3.
Dang it!
please.
Okay, one of those is I'm outvoted. Oh.
And that's about Andy Beeson. I actually understand you, Angelina. I was kind of sad to let that go because he is one of our most dynamic singers.
I don't know why. Okay, maybe I listened to this one and I didn't. I don't know why that score's so high compared to you guys. But
Angelina,
like
first,
with Andy.
First, where is your top performance? I don't see it in the list.
Oh, we're talking about top
yeah.
performance first.
No,
Yeah,
no.
as well.
Oh,
no.
I just wanted to see
coloring.
which one it was because I'm curious.
Yeah,
Oh
the
my
coloring.
god! Wait,
Yeah, the
You don't
mine's
have
different than
one.
you guys. No, mine's different than you guys. Mine's
Well, it's
where
definitely
is
different from each other.
all of us have different.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
gonna be a struggle. Oh, really? That was
Oh.
unexpected.
Angelina.
What?
I mean, fair.
Why?
Actually, fair.
I thought it was
Fine.
good.
No.
Wait. Let me
Okay.
do it again.
Okay,
It's fine,
let's
it's fine.
go with let's talk about Andy first then.
Defender
I
goes
feel like
first.
the beginning was definitely more of like a no, but I saw like big potential. I feel like as he got higher, it actually sounded better, and like usually that's what people struggle with. So I was like, I feel like there's potential. There's emotion. His like higher parts were actually like very pleasant to listen to compared to like the lower. It was pitchy in moments, but he had nice emotion, he had a nice voice and nice dynamics. So I put him through.
I absolutely see where you're coming from. He has a lot of potential. I mean, he was one of the top auditions in round 1, for example, in my opinion. But okay, so my feedback for you, Andy, was that as far as projection and dynamics go, by the way, I have my notes here on my phone because otherwise I have to I have to lean to this side all the time because I have 2 computers here. This one I use for filming the actual call, so I can't have my notes here. Okay, so
Gotcha.
in case you wonder why I'm looking down all of the time. So Andy,
Yes.
as far as projection and dynamics goes, you are one of the best contestants in the competition. But I couldn't get over the pitch, unfortunately. I don't know what happened. I mean, you sang the wrong key in almost the entire performance. Maybe you forgot to change the key of the instrumental. Always review your recording first. It seems like this was a one-take recording. I see you recorded in your car. So you need to learn mixing. Take the best takes from each recording and then put them together. You could have gone far in this competition if you just put more time into it, I think. You were one of my favorites from round 1, like I said. If you did review this and it still turned out this way, then I think you need pitch training.
So I think I still understand why you give it a yes, but like because I appreciate the on-point timing because the song choice, like has the tendency to be weird if you're not used to it. So it definitely indicates sufficient knowledge on that part. But sadly, the first two notes for ascending notes at 027 fell flat. So it sounded strange and distracting, and vocal straining occurred, especially towards the end. And the pitch at parts were not landing properly, and since this is a musical, you need the body for the performance to like hit, but sadly it's not there yet for the most part. I would avoid doing songs with musical tendencies. This is for everyone if you don't have the vocal body for it, because you need the proper body, you need to be able to tell a proper story, and even more so than your usual pop songs. So I think that's why I was quite firm with my no here, but I understand.
Wait, Petri, I don't agree that he was singing in the wrong key. I felt like he was on the right key with the instrumental.
It was
right
flat.
Key, but it's
No.
he's on the right
wasn't.
key, but it fell flat for the most
Yeah, it
part.
did fall
So I
flat
think-
in moments, but his
Yeah.
it wasn't like he was singing in the whole wrong key the whole time.
I think it's not the
All
wrong
right,
key.
maybe I misspoke there, but the pitch wasn't completely
Yeah.
right all the way
wasn't
through.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think I'm pretty firm with my no, so I think you need to sway Petri if you want him to.
Yeah. We can come
Let me
back to
listen
that
to the band.
later when we discuss the top 29, and then we can see
Yeah.
who we can switch out in that case. So first of all, I'm gonna sort everything in order.
17 3 yeses, that's confirmed. It's 11 2 yeses actually, so we're missing one that we need to pick through the 1 yeses.
Oh,
I miss
Man,
it.
I have so many that I put through that you guys didn't agree with. I think what happened was I was too worried that I was too biased against indie because I'm not a huge fan of indie songs. So I think I was a little more like, I was trying to be more open with my yeses, and I didn't want it to just be inspirational or like just be like more powerful. So I think I went with some people that were like little more like soft in their voice.
If I were to like let my bias peek through, I would say I hate rock.
Yeah, me too.
I try to not be too nice to the rock entries because I like rock.
Well, to be honest, hate is a strong word. I don't actively listen to rock. There we go. That's a softer tone. There's some rock in here that is actually good. I was pleasantly surprised, but some of them are not. So it's like in the middle of the road.
Should we start with the top performance?
I think the one that gave the highest score should go first.
Yeah, and that's Lebis. Out of our top performances. So my top performance of the round is Lebis. Let me tell you why. So this was absolutely amazing. I mean, you are a powerhouse singer. You have lots of confidence, projection, and power. The harmonies were a delight to listen to. The range is great song choice, lovely vibrato in the belts. The last chorus exploded with so much good singing in the background vocals. And you found the perfect ending too. I mean, you ended it with an a cappella part, and that was iconic to me. So I can't fault this. I don't know what to say really. It was just amazing.
Should we give ours now?
Yes.
Or like, okay.
Or are we not talking about Lebis first, like as the reasoning, and then our feedback for like the picked top contestant first? Like, so like this is now Petri's, right? So like we give our feedback.
Oh, we
on
do.
it.
We give ours. I thought we were going through like each person's.
Oh, okay.
think
You
we
can
can
talk about your best performance then. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. My top performance is Drew with the song Dragon Lord, which is an original. I appreciate the great audio quality and volume and good vocal range showcase. Very rock approach, but I think this is like your second rock entry, if I'm not wrong. So versatility question arises at the back of my head, and I appreciate the clean harmony arrangement. And I have nitpicks, and is that I would have loved for the effects to be not as spacious and bring your vocals more forward instead, because like currently it's like a little bit leaning back towards the instrumental. The main high melody of Assassination at 054 was a little drowned. It's drowning behind the harmonies and a little bit behind the instrumental as well. And the disadvantage of doing rock, this is general, is that it's pretty much just raw power showcase, especially the songs that are being picked by people that do rock in this competition. So most of the time from my experience, it stops just at raw power showcase. So it might be good to showcase more than just rock vocals moving forward, and would love to hear softness and vulnerability from you. And I give this a 9 and a yes.
Agree with a lot of it actually. But let's hear Angelina's top performance first, and then we can discuss them.
I chose. Is it Heiso? Heiso?
Heso.
Heiso. Okay.
Wait. Who do you say it again?
Heso.
Heiso. Wait, no. I don't think that's right. Oh god. I'm just gonna continue. You hit with the emotion. I thought your diction was good. I thought your voice sounded nice. The one thing I did say as a negative was your high notes did sound a little tense at certain moments. You have great placement, and I thought you had good pitch. So I think it just like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I personally love like really emotional. It kind of stayed in the back of my mind as I listened to the rest of the entries.
Can I already spoil though? I already made my mind actually.
Oh.
Okay. I'm ready to completely be swayed to the abyss.
Yay!
Me too. I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
But I would like to give my feedback as to
Yeah,
like the
go ahead.
Yes.
And then I'll go
Petri-
next
So
year.
why is she not?
Yeah,
top
Petri only
performance?
gave positives. The reason I didn't choose top performance originally, maybe like Petri, how well do you know this song?
I didn't know it at all, to be honest.
Yeah, that's part of like I know the song pretty well, so I noticed like where it was inconsistent.
But
I
you don't
thought-
have to
wait,
compare
maybe
it to
like-
the original, though.
I don't know. I mean like stuff that like it just didn't make sense. I don't know. I'll give my positives. I thought you had a nice, powerful voice, nice pitch, nice harmonies, but I thought your backing vocals were a little bit loud in the beginning. Your is at 044 was a little strained, and you had a weird breath. I think you like cut off a phrase to breathe at around like 48, 49. Your low harmony near 110 was a little bit lackluster, like you didn't have as much energy. And I think your timing was off on I don't want to hear a thing. I didn't put a timestamp there, but like there were just some like technical issues and stuff that I had to take points off for technique wise.
The reason why I'm just giving up and swaying to the bit is because it's because most of my negatives are just nitpicks. You had great vocal power showcase present, and this is actually a big note and a little like warning sign, but your tendency to being shouty and having too wide a vowel actually kind of fits the song. So I'm like, you know what? It's fine for this song, but like I would warn you for other songs that might not fit this kind of delivery, beware. I appreciate the mostly clean harmony arrangement. Some of the harmony chosen were a little funky. Like for example, at 123 to 131, those were like a little funky. It was like very major. The rest were not as major key as that, so it threw me off guard. But it worked. And you had good uplifts, sustains, riffs, and runs showcase. And my nitpicks are at 102 to 103. There's a clash of notes happening. Not sure whether the culprit is the main melody or the harmony. I'm not completely sure, but the notes were clashing. And at 119 to 120, I don't need no one. The one went flat. So polish up some more, especially in the harmony arrangement, and show us some more dynamic, especially softer, more vulnerable dynamics, of which I know you're able to do. It's an 8, and I'm ready to be swayed.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
it was between those two, I would go to Libis. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even want to try to fault this because any mistake I would find would just be a nitpick. And I don't think nitpicks are that important this early in the competition, because if you're at that level already, then you're through either way. So it doesn't really matter that much to me this time.
They help, so that's why I just decided to go for it.
Yeah.
Because like when we're faced with greater, like more above average singers, they tend to have the basics already, so they tend to like have more problems in the advanced things, which is like I said, clashing notes. It's pretty advanced.
yeah.
A little pitchiness in places, so that's why.
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth like mentioning, because like if you have your foundation good, like you want to know what you can improve on specifically.
Yeah.
Like so I didn't want to like not nitpick, and I think like the most important ones that like I don't consider nitpicking for me are like the parts where I mentioned strain and like when your harmony is not energetic enough. That's more foundational versus like you breathed here.
Yeah, those are definitely not nitpicks actually.
Yeah, to be
Mine are.
honest, problems in harmonies are harder for me to pick up, and because I tend to focus on the main vocals. The harmonies are always just an extra thing to me, so that's
No worries,
probably
you got
where
me.
my that's where my score comes from, I think. Should I lower it like 0.5? But that would be like
I mean,
ridiculous. I don't know.
I mean, it's up to
You don't
you
have
because
to.
like my
Yeah.
nitpicks are not the reason why I deducted score.
Okay.
Me too.
Yeah.
Mine was like
No, I'm just-
partially, but like it wasn't
Yeah.
just because.
No, I'm just gonna keep the 10. It's the 110 I have this round, so I'm not like John or Starly. I'm not giving 10s out left and right anyway, so
Yeah. I mean, like you're the one that have 10 and we don't.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, so next we're gonna decide on the one yes that we want to get let through then.
Yes,
Man, some of these
let's start with the one that we want to argue to get in, and then we can see if we wanna replace some people as well.
Some of these I'm shocked that Hooney gave yes.
Which
For example, Firework, the 129. I remember both Fireworks being pretty.
well, one of them was quite sad.
Yeah, but this one still wasn't like, I don't know. It just wasn't. It just didn't. I don't know.
Let me check. Let me check the.
I'm gonna change mine to lower. I don't think it.
I'm gonna first see which ones I was outvoted on.
To be fair, Angelina, my yes is like near your scores. I'm fine being swayed for most of the more like similar scores.
What about Ginny?
Oh, I'm sad. First of all, it's not even inspirational based on our discussion, no?
That was not inspirational whatsoever. That was actually the one entry this round that I deducted a point for the team. I did ask ChatGPT to give me a list of songs that it didn't think were inspirational or indie, and then I looked up the ones that it thought weren't on theme, and it turned out that all of them were on theme except this one.
Yeah.
Because I don't let ChatGPT decide for me. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll
okay.
look them up afterwards. But this one I couldn't justify.
You don't think her singing deserved to go through though?
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I think the reason why I decided to say no in the first place is not because of that it's not on theme. It's just that there are problems that relates to the actual performance, and also the audio quality was a little hard to hear.
Yeah, it was a little strange.
Do you want to start then, Hooney?
Okay, so Ginny, easy on me. I could have argued for your song to be a little. So I'm just gonna say the song choice is borderline out of theme. I was about to argue that it could be seen as inspirational because I've seen things that basically this song doesn't really go really deep into heartbreak, so that's why I can see it being a non-heartbreak song and inspirational, but it's a bit out of a loophole, so that's why I'm like, I give up on that point. So you had vocal transitions, range, power showcases present, and good showcase of dynamic control and some riffs and runs. But at 012 to 017, I don't know what made those thumping noises, but it definitely wasn't from the instrumental.
Yeah, I was like, what? Wait, no. I think it was. I think she found like one with like instruments, and I think it was like a drum or like something.
At least that like towards the end, it kind of like blend into the.
It was a little
but, like,
weird though.
Yeah, it was a little weird. Like I don't know what made those thumping noises. I have some likely culprits, and it's that your microphone is getting hit repeatedly, and there are some more throughout. Like.
Go easy!
Go easy. Maybe you were like trying to be emotional and then you end up hitting the mic or something. No, I'm just joking. There are some more throughout the entry blending in with the actual bass line of the instrumental, which I didn't like pick up necessarily, but like those first from 012 to 017, I don't know what happened there. And I remember you having the same audio quality issues since last season because you were in there, which is unfortunate, but it made it hard to hear you clearly through the quality. So since I don't think playing around with EQ could really save this, I definitely would highly recommend investing in a better microphone because you had the potential, you had the voice. It's just very much, I forgot the words. Your audio quality doesn't let us see you as you are. There we go.
Man, some of these yeses you guys gave are like some of my least favorite.
Well, at least Petri agree with me on this one.
I don't know which one you're talking about. So Ginny, my feedback to you is that, all right, I just did one of my pet peeves. You don't start your feedback like that, you just give it. So.
Well, you did it yourself.
Yeah. I'm a hypocrite. Oh no. Okay.
Well, that's Leo for you.
Okay. So Ginny, I like the inflections of your voice and the dynamics. However, this doesn't suit the theme whatsoever, like I said. This is a heartbreak song and it is not inspirational. It's pretty much the opposite of the theme, so I actually deducted 1 point for it. And you also have audio quality issues like Huni said. It sounded tinny and metallic. I hope you can fix it and get a new mic or something. Because I don't remember your mic being this bad last season, so maybe it broke or something.
No, it's the same quality actually.
Oh.
It's actually the same quality. I still remember. I have the season on loop, Petri.
No.
Believe me.
No, I don't think it was this bad.
Well,
yeah, anyway.
It's not this bad. Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, you could have added more bass to combat that a bit in your mix. But that said, you have a stunning head voice and runs. I love the growl. And you have a lot of emotion as well. There were minor pitch issues though that I noticed. Without the audio and theme issues, this would have been an 8 for me actually. So this did actually affect my vote, unfortunately this time. But it is important to follow the theme because for one, that's the rules of the competition, and also it gives an unfair advantage if people do free choice songs.
Yeah.
Actually, same score. I was about to give it an 8 if it weren't for the audio quality, which is sad.
Yeah. Did you deduct point for the theme?
I kinda didn't because
I did.
Well, I can see it not being. You know what? Should I really deduct the score?
Yeah, because the rules say you are judged on how well you fit the
Yeah.
theme, so the score should reflect that. I mean, personally,
I'm sorry.
I deduct 1 point if they don't follow the theme, but the rules don't say how much you have to deduct. So
Yeah, I deducted 0.5.
okay, that's fine.
I think I'm gonna be a little bit nicer as well.
What about Jean-Luc Gay? I thought he was good. His voice was really nice.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
It was a 6.5, so he was like a half point away for me to consider him for my top 29.
Yeah, minus the soft gestures.
So should we give him the last spot?
What's your argument?
But then I'm gonna check who I'm actually outvoted for, and then I'm gonna make my case.
Yeah.
Oh god, if you say the one I'm thinking of, I'm gonna... Okay.
Theory?
Anyways, for him, I just feel like he had such a nice voice and like his like tone was like warm. There was something there, and his riff was nice. The one, like the parts I didn't like he was my last one. Like he was my 29. I just said like he was a little pitchy at the starts of phrases, and I just said that I wish there was a little more energy and emotion. Music was a little loud, and I said the breast support felt a little lacking. I said some phrases are a little more choppy and less cohesive than they should be, but that's a little more of like a nitpick versus like the more like technical like pitch and breast support.
Very nice falsetto and tone, minor timing issues though. The song choice doesn't allow for much dynamics or range. It was a bit lackluster for a competition. You should have picked a different song for that. Not much happens in the song, in my opinion. I do like the consonant singing in the end, though. I mean, with a I don't know. I don't remember the melody, but yeah. I like
Actually,
that.
me too.
And the runs too. And this would have been a 5 without the runs and the slight dynamic change. So it wasn't quite a consideration for me, but almost.
Okay. I think for Jean-Luc Gay, the reason why I'm, you know what, now that I think of it, it's a firm no, because I think what held you back is the song choice. So I agree with Petri, because this is not really a good song choice. It doesn't really go anywhere in terms of range and dynamic. So at least from the way this was delivered, and some notes felt squeezed through. It has that throaty quality, like Petri said. It not really much to go on, which is unfortunate. You have those vocal transitions to head voice and decent pitch control and showcase of vibrato, and there are some riffs and runs showcase as well. But like, I think it's song choice issue. It's like that's the biggest for me, which held him back a lot. So I think I'm firm with my no, even though it's a soft no with my 6.
I liked most of these entries, I just didn't have enough spots.
Same.
Yeah.
We only have
Okay, but
29
if-
spots.
If not him though, who else would you like?
I have found the one that I want to get in the most.
Oh my god, no. Oh, please don't be this one. Please, please. Oh my god. Okay.
I'm scared.
Lily.
Say it. Ah! Oh my no! Please, no!
You said you were
No!
gonna scream. You
No,
lied.
that one I no, that hurt my soul.
Aw.
It hurt my soul.
Really,
Wait,
you both
Was she-
hated that one.
What she did was she lowered the key.
Let me give my case first.
Okay.
Positive.
Okay, go
Positive
ahead.
first.
Stay positive.
Okay. So Lily, you have one of the most unique voices in this show. It stands out a lot. It's important to give voices like that a chance, in my opinion. You have a very fast and amazing vibrato. The tone is very clear. The compressor of the mix is off though. Sorry Nathan, I know you mixed this. But you, Lily, have accepted this, so this still falls on you, unfortunately. The softer parts are very quiet, a bit hard to hear actually, while the louder parts are very loud in comparison. It doesn't need to be overcompressed like catchy pop songs would be, but this was in the other direction, so it was extreme and distracting. Great power, and the pitch was much better than last round. You still have minor pitch issues though. The cracking of your voice at the beginning of some phrases were characteristic, but be careful to not slap your vocal cords together too violently and strain. It sounds not that comfortable. I like the grit though, and I believe you can be versatile. This was one of the most dynamic entries of this round to me, so that's why I voted it that high.
Okay,
So
I will go
let's
next.
hear why you violently disagree.
Okay, I will go next. Okay, so Lily Dane, you definitely had decent audio quality. Might be too raw of a mix. Sorry, Nathan. Not that I know. An interesting tonal choice, very in the nose. Good vocal transition and power showcase, and good open vowel sustains and vocal inflections. But like Petri said, it's pretty quiet in volume, so it might need some volume boost. And there's not much dynamic showcase that happened in this entry. And well, let me explain. Because the delivery is very inconsistent and the pitch, it's more apparent on the attempts of runs and after a transition happens. So like, I agree with Lily Dane having a very unique voice, but it's not backed with the basics. The pitch control is like flying when she tried to do the riffs and runs, and it felt like more nasal than the previous round. I wonder if this is intentional or not, or maybe the mix might contribute to that, but it's a question mark. And it feels like you're brute forcing through the song, like I said, because the delivery is very inconsistent. One part it would go like, oh my god, it's so good, and the open vowel sustains were really good. Other than that, they kind of fell apart and fell flat. Polish up some more and be wary of consistency issues, like work on those vowel modification to stabilize your tone even more, because like nasality, when you have a little too wide of vowel, it can be a little bit of a double-edged sword. So agility is definitely something to work on if you're trying to show us just that. So practice on your descending runs, especially in riffs. So that's why I'm kind of firm with my no. I agree with some of your points, but like it's not backed up with the body. It's like you only have your head, you don't have your body. So
Okay,
like, yeah, that's why.
if the nasality is a major reason that you didn't vote her in, then I'm really interested in why you voted some other nasal voices in. I mean, for example, if we or if Angelina wants to get her point in first.
Interruption.
That's not
Actually,
that's not
interruption.
why I
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the nasality itself. Well, that's the reason why I let some nasal singers through, because well, I'm one of the nasal singers as well. But it's not the reason. It's not just the nasality. It's that, well, if you want to have the nasality, you do you. But back it up with the basics. That's what I'm saying, because like some of these nasal singers, I did end up saying a no because they tend to be like really wide. So that's why it sounds shrieking. And this one is not to that point, but like it's very inconsistent. So that's why it's not because of the nasality, it's because of the problems that relates to the nasality.
Doesn't the power
that's
count
why.
for anything though? She
The
was
power-
one of the few
I-
that
Count.
actually belted.
Yeah, the power did
I-
count, so that's why it's like a 5.5. If it doesn't have the power, it would be even lower actually.
Yeah.
So let's
That
say,
was, like,
let's
the-
Angeline say.
Okay. I love this song.
Sigh.
And okay, what she did was she lowered the instrumental by 1 and she sang up the octave. So instead of being like, it's so dark, she went, it's so dark, not a
Yeah.
star in the sky. So it was like way too, like, it doesn't make sense because it's supposed to build. Like this song starts out like the context of it, the lyrics, if you listen to them, it's talking about like she's dismotivated, she's unmotivated, she's upset. But then she finds the courage. So it's supposed to start a little more like somber, and you sang up an octave, which kind of canceled out like what the build was supposed to be. I do agree with Hooni. I think if you listen to her first entry versus this one, she sounds more nasally. I think it was because she raised it by an octave, or like
Maybe.
almost an octave because she lowered it by 1. It caused it to be too squeaky almost. And
like
it sounds
here. The
like
voice is like
uncomfortable in her range.
In the mask.
And I
in the
also, with her diction, I feel like it's very cursive. The way she sang this song, it was more cursive than her first round entry. It was very like, it gave off like more of those like Ariana Grande, like Billie Eilish type of diction. And I didn't think her breast support seemed fully engaged. Her transition to her lower register was kind of like unnatural. It seemed like not very smooth, and it seemed like she was struggling to like transition. She was rushing in the pre-chorus to chorus. My positives were like the emotion, and I did think the belting was like one of the positives. But I feel like she doesn't have as much vocal training as like she needs to sing this song, and it was kind of all over the place for me.
Yeah, she definitely needs training. But as far as the dynamic goes, you implied that she lacked dynamics. She did have quite quiet moments in the beginning. So
I mean more
dynamics were in
like
there.
Oh, I think you need to cut the dynamic showcase out. It's a wrong copy paste. Yeah, it's a wrong copy paste. I agree with the dynamic showcase actually.
I didn't think the dynamics. I just think the choice to raise it by an octave, like lowering it by 1 and raising by an octave, is strange. And I think it was a bad choice on her part, because then it sounds very uncomfortably high in her range. And then she dips down for the chorus instead of like, usually like verses are lower and the chorus is like, it
Higher.
feels weird to listen to.
She probably just wanted to show more power though. And I don't feel like you value that enough. Because most contestants don't have that.
Okay, I think I'm gonna defend my scoring for her dynamic showcase, because I scored dynamic showcase out of 4, and she's definitely up there. She's 3 out of 4. But the reason why I said no in the first place, like I said, is the problems other than the dynamics. The artistic decisions, like I don't understand why you would sing that high to begin with, and especially so since it's really in the nose. Like you would hear like how pinched that voice is. Basing on her previous entry, which is her audition, she progressed backwards.
Yeah.
There's not so much improvement other than the power, which is not ideal because usually you want something 2.
I
not
think her
1,
pitch
like
was
2 or
better
3.
this round though. Because
Yeah.
in last
No,
round she ended off key.
Yes, but at the same time, her riffing progressed backward. The rest of the songs that don't have riffing, they're fine. When she hit the riff, she fell flat, and then flat again. So like that's why it's a really
think-
in the middle.
I think the positives are outweighed by like, because if she progressed on
Yes.
multiple aspects backward rather than the few that did go forward by a little. Like I don't think the positives outweigh the negatives.
Yeah.
All right,
Which is
it's pretty clear. I'm not gonna convince you on that. I mean, the score discrepancy is really large. So
Yeah.
okay, I'm really sad, but let's move on. I do have another one, but someone else can go in between.
I want to make a case. James Johnson.
Hmm?
Yeah, James Johnson. Out of every 1 yeses, he's the one that got the highest score.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Don't hate it.
That's what. Yeah, that's one argument.
I could agree.
You had great audio quality and volume, and good showcase of vibrato, vocal transitions and range, and good showcase of vocal power and dynamic control. But the pitch in places wasn't landing and felt kind of throaty. I don't think that's the case for your audition, so I wonder what happened. And the louder parts are almost borderline peaking, so watch out for volume input and mic positioning when hitting them. So yeah, polish up your vocals some more and to get them even better, and experiment some more with vocal placement and learn how to grab those notes so they land where they should be. It's a 7.5 and a yes.
My feedback, I think it's because like there were two of the same song. So I think I was a little too harsh on him with my feedback. Oh, hold on, let me listen to it real quick.
When you compare to entries, it's easier to be a bit harder because then you hear someone else and think, why didn't this person do that? I mean, because
I'm gonna listen to it real quick.
Yeah, because they're almost at the same level or something.
Yeah, you know what's harder? When you compare both songs and one of the songs is like your top score.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Because the other one was Angelina's top score. By the way, we never gave our feedback for the other top performance considerations.
Do we want to finish talking about James first, though? Because I don't.
Oh yeah.
I think
We're jumping too much.
So wait, Petri, are you agreeing that you're fine with him going through?
Maybe. I still have one thing I want to talk about. One that I was outvoted on, but let me give my feedback for James first. So James, I like your tone, it's very poppy. Your lower notes were a little unsupported though. You sung this a little bit too boxy. There's no playing around with the phrasing. The second verse changed melody a bit. It's good that you made it your own, so that's a good thing. There were some minor straining and pitch issues, but overall it was a good entry. It's a very difficult song to live up to though. If you don't make it your own, then it's gonna be difficult to stand out with it because you didn't make it special in a way. It was just a watered down version of the original. So that's why I didn't vote you through. But I did like the dynamics of the song.
Same with what Petri said, like it needs more phrasing. You do have emotion, but you're not expressing it through the musicality. And you went up around the beginning, like it was a different like melody, and it just seemed a little off. Like I felt like you could have done something a little bit different. The high notes were a little shaky. I feel like you're kind of pitchy because I feel like you're not supporting correctly. That's why I was choosing between giving you yes or no, and I settled with the no because I felt like there was a bit like a technique issue that like isn't easily fixed between like one like month or less than a month's time.
Understandable.
But I do understand. Like I'm open to switching it. Because I feel like they weren't like very jarring issues. It was a little more like, I can kind of hear
Probably like long-term issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I understand. Okay. So Angelina is open and Patrice is open, but
I have another case.
Yeah.
I want to
bring We should go back to the top performances.
Yeah, we go back to
that's
the
right.
top performance.
Sorry for the jumping all over the place. It was a long time ago. I did this, and the other two have never done this before. So,
well, I did.
Who has done this?
I did
So we talked about Libist. Let's talk about Peso. Now I'm really interested because this is connected to James, right? He did the same song. So let's talk about why he's your top performance. Oh, you did.
Okay, so Heso, you had good audio quality. Might need some balancing work and decent vocal range showcase and vocal power showcase. You had good pitch control, emotional delivery, and dynamic showcase overall, and I appreciate the touch of breathiness and vocal inflections. But it might need some more volume on the vocals, and this is a nitpick, might not be the right choice of reverb because the delay is like a bit too short and too close to the actual vocal line for it to be like bigger and impactful for such an emotional song. So at 053 to 057, it felt a bit throaty. So I'm unsure whether this is healthy rasp or not. So I would suggest playing around some more with audio mixing because experiment is key for better sounding rendition. And I would love to hear you do harmonies because I don't know why, I have a feeling you would do great adding them in your next entries, especially this song. This one would definitely hugely benefit from adding harmonies. Of course, if they're clean. It's a 7.5 and a yes.
Yeah, I didn't have any notes on the mixing, so it was good that you did. I focused more on the ones with less than good mixing. Okay, go ahead. No.
I was about to say I was about to say a little note, like we have our own like specialties, like Angelina will be like sort of like the vocal techniques, the classical training going forward, and then
I'm not be classical. Like oh, don't say that.
Well, me neither. But like you're more classically trained than I am.
I'd like to just say like technique wise in general, because I personally I'm not that good at classical stuff. So
yeah, you're focused on like techniques, vocal techniques. focused on audio production, and Petri is focused on belts. And dynamics.
But I do
And
talk
being
about other stuff too. I do talk about
you have
mixing
to-
a little bit too.
but you have
yeah.
to focus.
Yeah, but I'm not as good as a mixer as Huni, obviously.
Yeah. I love belts too, but they need to be like supported. Like
Yeah.
I
Okay.
very
Okay.
much
Let
just like
Petri
Yeah.
send the feedback.
Sorry.
Let me talk about Heso.
Okay.
Josh Groban is a very hard artist to live up to. He's actually one of my favorite artists, but that's not the reason that he weren't my top performance. I was not that impressed until the final chorus, to be honest. That's where you really put the power in. The beginning sounded a little weak and there were minor straining issues. The song choice allows for a lot of dynamics and range though, as well as sustain, so it was a really good song choice. But at the same time, this is a really oversung song. It's a dangerous choice. It's hard to stand out with it, like I talked about with James. It needs to be spectacular to stand out with it, but it was pretty good still.
I agree.
Yeah. So Drew, very impressive original song. I love when people do original songs in the show. I don't like the talk singing that was a part of the song though. It detracts from the performance in a singing competition. But there was a lot of power and range with cool distortion. I love distortion. And excellent mixing suitable for this genre. You showed a lot of range, but it also sounded a little bit strained to me. I don't know, I could be wrong, but it didn't sound comfortable all the way through. There's no soft and vulnerable dynamics in this, or from you yet in general. So you need that to be a full package, in my opinion. You also need versatility, like Huni already talked about. You can't do only rock and then win the competition, because we're looking for the complete package here. You can't just be... Yeah, we're looking for versatility, basically. So that means actually that you can't really do more rock after next round, basically. In my opinion, at least.
Actually.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
you may not
Oh,
be.
yeah.
Otherwise, you may not be versatile enough in the end. So be careful. Just saying.
You have used your limits.
Yeah, because at that point it would already be 3 of 7 songs that are rock.
Yes.
And it's the 3 first songs, so it's kind of a risky choice. I wish you guys would have watched my introduction, or our introductions as judges, so that you hear what we're looking for and such. And that goes for a lot of contestants.
I've made a realization. I think I do tend to like when people are singing very powerful. I don't think I give them enough credit, because I'm like personally I'm more of a belty singer, so like it's kind of just like normal. Like I listen to it and I'm like, oh okay, like maybe I need to put a little more weight into that, because like I do have to remember that not everyone is like super powerful or like very belty.
I would say the
With
vast majority
Drew.
aren't, so that's why I put an emphasis on that.
Yeah. Me included.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should keep that in mind. Continuing in the future. I noted that the instrumental was very long in the beginning. I feel like that was a lot of time you could have used to sing. And I agree with Petri. I thought it was too talky in the beginning. It was like more like you were talking rather than you're singing. Further in, your technique sounded better, but work on your low parts and your resonance on those. Your harmonies were nice. You had good pitch, good energy, but I said that the dynamics stayed mostly the same. It was very like high up there. It just felt very presentational with like not a ton of emotional progression. Like it sounded like more like you were like trying to perform for like some concert versus like I'm trying to tell a story, or like I'm trying to like go through like yeah, I couldn't think of it. Just like doesn't have a ton of this. It's very like
Dynamic range. I think it's what you look for.
Dynamic variation.
Yeah, variation. We want variation.
Variety.
Variation.
I think
Yeah.
Variety. Yeah.
Variety is
that's
the word.
Yeah. I think I think that's the biggest problem with like rock and musicals, because they tend to be like, so for rock it's like a raw power showcase, and musical is being dramatic. But most of the time when people pick these categories, they don't have the body. But I guess the Drew has it, but like it's definitely a versatility question that arises for you, especially since it's been 2 rounds and the next round is also rock. So you basically anyone that has done rocks, you kind of have used your limit.
Yeah. So wonder what he's gonna do for the finale if he makes it there.
Oh, I'm interested. If he make it there.
If he makes it there.
Big
yeah.
if. we're still really early. We can't really
Yeah.
talk about the finals yet.
Petri, give your one, and we should choose the person who's the last.
Oh yeah,
I only really have one left, I think. I'm gonna double check.
Okay. I don't really
Okay.
have another one, so.
Okay, vänta.
I think I'm still sticking to James. He has the highest score out of one
Yeah.
yeses.
Can I give my feedback first though? For my
Yeah.
final case, and that would be
Yes,
for
same
Nechama. I'm actually surprised about your scores here.
I just thought of another one. Sorry. Go with yours, and I have to say mine.
Yeah. So Nechama, I love your tone. It's so thick and resonant. You are flat though sometimes in the sustained notes, and the lowest note was shaky. I like the runs and the dynamics though. The higher notes sound slightly strained, and the mixing could be better. The compressor is a little bit off. Generally good stuff though. The emotion is great, and that was my main factor for voting you through. I actually raised your score a half a point last minute because I was taken by the emotion.
Wait, are we talking about the one who sang "Old with You"?
Yes,
Yes.
with you.
Nekama Lampert. Ooh,
Nechama.
Nechama. Oh, that's there we go.
Yeah, it's a Jewish name.
Okay,
So-
the guitar sounds a bit loud compared to the vocals. It distracts. Your diction was a little hard to hear in some places. I said you had nice tone, nice emotion, but backing vocals sounded a little strained at certain parts, and I didn't think there were a ton of dynamics. Also, your higher notes were a little strained, and I said you could use more phrasing and like accented words within those phrases.
So for me, Nechama. Ooh, I pronounced that good.
Ooh.
So yeah, you had good dynamics for the most part, and harmony or double delivery is also present, and you have clean riffs and run showcase and vocal range showcase also present, and decent pitch control. But I think you still have the same audio problem. The audio quality is like lacking a bit of that lower frequencies. Like it's missing that warmth for songs like these, especially. You really need that warmth to like help you through. And this might be from the audio quality, or maybe it's just straining, but the higher parts sounded a bit pushy. Play around with EQ if you can't afford a better mic. So like from what I can hear, you need to like boost the lower frequencies, like I said, and drop the mids and highs. Experiment is key for better sounding rendition. So it's a 6 and a no. It's a soft no.
Mine was more of like a hard no.
Oh,
It's
really?
oop.
Why
So if you're
though?
trying to convince someone, it would be Hooney.
Oh,
Can I give mine?
Yeah.
Before we-
sure.
What about Phoenix Ryan? You guys
No,
didn't like him?
did you talk about Nechama?
Oh yeah, you
Did
have.
I? Oh God, dang it!
Wait,
I did.
You have.
Oh, you did.
I did
She
before
did before
Hooney.
me. She did before me. Yeah, she did before me.
Sorry, I have goldfish memory.
Oh.
It's okay,
Okay,
but you
I
guys
didn't-
didn't like Phoenix Ryan?
I didn't
Yeah,
convince
sure.
you guys. No, I'm sad about that.
I'm not convinced. Oh, this one. Yeah, you're not convincing me.
You didn't like it? His
No.
voice sounds so nice.
I liked it, but not enough to get him in. We can talk about it.
I have a major issue, but since we don't start with negativity, we start with Angelina.
I gave him a yes because I just thought he had a really nice tone, really nice voice. He just sounded pleasant to listen to, except for I think there was some rushing timing, and there were more pitch issues with phrases starting with higher notes. But I really liked the energy, and like I don't know, I just like something about his voice enticed me.
So
do
okay.
we? Okay. No. Do we want to be like the devil or the middle?
Wait, who
If you want
is
to-
the devil and who's the middle? Oh, who needs the
Me.
devil? Okay.
I'm
Well,
the
you're
devil,
not that
so-
far.
Sure.
Okay,
Well,
let's
yeah, you go
let's
ahead
do
then.
the devil first then, and then I can go and
okay.
be the sane middle person because I'm literally in the middle
Okay.
of our screens here. So
Okay.
Wait, that's so funny. Cause my
That's
like
so
I
funny.
like I have pink and like white, and then Hooney's like very dark and ominous like looking. Like he has like the light on his face, and it's like.
Yeah.
Wait, it makes sense too, cause my light is shining down a Petri. Okay.
Back to the feedback. So Phoenix Ryan, you have good audio quality. Might need a bit of volume boost. And do you guys know the original, by the way? That's a big question, by the way.
I listened
No.
to a little bit of it,
Okay.
but I didn't listen to a lot.
Mimi's Delivery Service by Good Kill. Never heard of it.
Here comes my devil feedback.
Okay, I'm listening to
So-
it. It is different, yeah.
Actually, no. If you listen to it, like it's very close imitation of the original. Kind of impressive, actually. I don't have that.
It
as
is a little
negative.
different with like phrasing though. Like it
The-
kind of gives off
the
more
phrasing.
indie.
The phrasing, yeah. The tone, the delivery, everything except the phrase was pretty close. So it's kind of impressive. I have that as positive, but like
I can't listen to it without interrupting and the recording, so I'm just gonna trust whatever you guys say.
Okay, so slight range showcase and sliding notes were appreciated, but I unfortunately have to accuse you of heavy autotune usage. So
Really?
I understand that you, yeah.
I don't hear that.
It's
Except
following that like the original.
The riff?
It's definitely
I do hear some autotune, but
I didn't have any notes on it.
Autotune can mess up your notes if you're not on key to
yeah,
begin
I
with.
heard one of the like the I can't tell you why. It went like I can't
Yeah.
tell you why.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
mean-
don't think
yeah.
it's super heavy.
Unless,
not as heavy
unless
as-
it's like share level, I'm not gonna comment on autotune because it is possible to confuse it for other mixing effects, and like
I did try
it would be
yeah, I
really
did-
unfair to eliminate people based
Yeah.
on autotune if you're not like 110% sure. And I didn't have any notes on it.
I did try to justify it being anything else that might produce that sound. I did come up with one, but it didn't actually like justify it fully. But I did have too much compression on the vocals. The pops were like way accentuated. Basically, to tell whether things are like auto-tune or not, this is like the safest way to like check it, is that every single note change would be very precise, like on the note change itself. So like it's like it would go like that if it's heavy. This
Yeah.
one wasn't as heavy as the other one that I did comment as well, but like it's definitely on the heavier side as well.
I have a feeling that okay, because the rest of it doesn't sound that way. I feel like that one spot he might have just like phrased it a little bit like more like strange. Like that's what it sounds like to me. I don't think it's because of the heavy autotune, because sometimes when you sing stuff and the phrasing sounds a little more robotic or like it doesn't have a ton of flow. It like when you add autotune to it, it sounds a little more like like I don't know. It's
Most
the
of the
way
time,
you
if
like
you-
cut off your voice.
Yeah, if you're like singing it straight and then you put autotune on top of it, it would either sound more robotic or actually kind of fit your pitch.
Wonderful timbre. I completely agree with Angelina there. Absolutely wonderful voice. I really like your voice a lot, actually, and you have a really round tone, which I like. A nice vibrato, but there was a bit of strain in the upper register. It was not that pleasant, and there was an obvious cut in the middle. You need to use fading instead when you put your clips together. There was no real power in your voice. You need to train your diaphragm support. The limited dynamics in the performance were one of the reasons that I didn't vote you through. It stays around mezzo forte the entire performance. You also had limited range, and if you don't have range or dynamics, then I don't really have a reason to justify putting you in the top 29, because I can't just base it on the voice itself. It needs to be the performance.
Yeah, I think I was a little too swayed.
Yeah, you needed a better song choice basically, but it was still okay. I mean, you did have energy, so it was still a good job. But, and again, we only have 29 spots, so I did have to try to think objectively and not just about, I like your voice. So,
I like your voice. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but like those note changes, it's uncannily similar to like the ones that we did accuse of autotune. Should we bring them up or not?
I feel like the other ones though, like they sound different.
We can't really verify if this one sounds different or not because we don't have the raws.
I just know like with my mixing, sometimes I'll add like barely any autotune and it'll sound really gross and like overly autotuned. So like I feel like it might have just been like a mixing like beginner type of thing, because like sometimes I won't add that much but it'll just sound like more robotic because I don't like I think it's with the EQ or like it just like reminds me of my own mixing sometimes.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean, Petri. I do like I agree with the fact that his dynamics on that song like wasn't anything like too big. I understand why.
and you should have asked for raw stems, Huni, because I didn't see this issue arising. so I didn't ask for it
Well,
myself.
we were pretty close to the judging time before
Oh.
we delayed further. So like I was like, oh no, I don't have time to like ask for Ross.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
but that's
why.
what raw stems are for. It's a way for us to look past the mixing aspect of it, because sometimes you need to actually hear the voice only.
I think I can justify it being the compressor compressing too much of the vocals. I can justify it being that, but I think I still stand with the no at least, even if the score might be bumped. But I'm still saying no.
Yeah, I'm saying no as well, but I didn't notice any auto-tune. So that wasn't a factor.
Between the ones that we've talked about, if I had to be the one who changed my mind, I'd probably change my mind on James Johnson.
Yeah.
I could go to Bryce, because that was one that I gave no to last second, because I was deciding between my 7s, and Angelina gave him a yes. Should we talk about him and why we shouldn't put him through?
Let me listen to him real quick again, just so it's fresh in my mind.
He sang "I Know Where I've Been" by Queen Latifah and Hairspray cast.
Oh, after listening to him, I might change my mind.
Oh,
Please.
okay. then we don't need to discuss it, because then it's 3 no's.
I'm just gonna go with James.
Okay.
Because no one else
going
is
with
relenting.
James, actually.
I'm changing James to a yes. We're putting him through.
Should we still give Bryce feedback though, because we did bring up his name, and now we're just
sure.
feeling no without a reason. Well,
Yeah, sure.
everyone are gonna get feedback anyway in written form.
Yeah.
So we don't have to bring them up here.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. I have 65 pages feedback for you.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
I just think with Bryce, I think maybe I was listening to it and it was a little late and my brain was a little foggy and I was like yeah, and then like now I'm listening to it, I'm like,
Were you high on pain pills too?
no, but I think I was just a little tired. And I think I was listening. I was like, yeah, it's nice.
Okay.
Okay.
At least I wasn't bedridden, even though I'm sick. At least I'm not bedridden.
Huni was listening to everything and he was like, oh, and then his ears are just like ringing. Oh no.
Yeah, we have already been going on for we have already been going on for 2 hours, so we shouldn't really go on for much
I don't
longer.
think. Yeah, maybe I don't
So
know.
we're skipping Bryce then.
I don't think we should do Bryce.
No, okay.
Okay.
But you're
I
all
did have
getting
strong opinions
written
about it.
feedback, so don't worry.
I did have a strong opinion about it, so I'm fine with not and yes.
Do we have time for any honorable mentions?
Should we talk about some lower scores too?
Lower
or
scores?
should we spare them?
Man, I was I was
Actually,
like,
up to you.
Since you guys weren't convinced by any of my choices for the last
with James.
spot, then
going with James.
I'm gonna go for James too.
Yay!
Because he
James,
was
you better
this
thank-
close to getting in for me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, James, you thank me. Thank you,
like,
thank you. You're welcome.
And we aren't switching some places. I kind of want to know why you... Oh, wait. Do I need to discuss this? No, I was
really
thinking
want,
of Bernadette's, but I actually liked that one. So
Bernadette.
I don't need to argue about that.
Oh,
It was a 6.5. Yeah, I don't need to discuss any one of them.
okay,
That's not true.
I wasn't like cyanide. I did not.
cyanide. Sorry.
I don't know. I did not like that entry. Not a ton. I'm gonna be honest. Her beginning parts were pitchy, like the cuckoo. I don't know. It was just like kind of flat or sharp. I don't remember if it was sharp or flat. I would have to listen to it again.
She
But I
tends
just-
to go sharp in her performances, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, like I
need to look
really
it up.
didn't like that beginning. Like it like
Actually,
kind of like,
argument, I think when it comes to the pitch, Cyanide kind of improved on this one for the most part. But like I did agree with the cuckoo, like those like a little bit.
maybe it was just because I was the first impression. But like when I listened,
Yeah,
I was like,
it's definitely like the first welcome to the song. I was like,
yeah, I was like, you gotta at least nail that. I'm like, you gotta like.
First impressions
But, like,
are
other-
so important. And last impressions
Yes.
too. There were some people that like, and I'm really surprised about this, that you didn't mention this at all last round, but there were a lot of people both last round and this round that just cut off their performances suddenly in the end.
Yeah.
I mean,
I meant I mentioned those in my
that
feedback,
actually detracts at least half a point from me because the first impression and last impression are really important. So don't do that. Use fading instead, or find a better ending spot.
I do actually mention them in my feedback. Even in this one, I didn't necessarily detract score from it, but I might comment on like I feel annoyed.
Yeah, I don't think that's enough to deduct a point for me personally.
Well,
I
especially
feel like that's
if it's
more like a production thing.
It ties into the complete package of the performance and the care that you put into the what you send. I mean, it's the final touch. If you don't put in the care, then you're gonna be detracted.
I actually agree, but like I don't necessarily want to like detract scores for it because like, well, in my feedback, if it abruptly end, I will like I'm annoyed. If it end well, I will like, oh my gosh, thank you. I did mention that in my feedback.
Sometimes it could just be because of like you don't know better. I feel like people who cut it suddenly probably aren't as experienced with like recording.
Maybe.
But you could say that about everything. People who strain do that because they don't know about technique. So
okay, but strain is different. Strain is like you have to take a lot of time. Like even if you know that you strain, it takes a long time to fix that. Versus like you not knowing how to cut something off. That could just be lack of knowledge.
But that is an even quicker fix. So that should be even easier to fix.
So that's why I don't cut off any points.
Yeah, so that's why
it's more justified to cut off points.
No, because it's an easy fix. So I don't have to.
I think I'm like in the middle of you guys. Like I agree to the track scores, but like I personally won't detract any points because like I have other things that might be more important to detract points from.
Okay, to be honest,
I think that's like my reason.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think I have detracted half a point for just the cutoff in the end. I mean, they have had other issues that surmount to that as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I basically agree with you. But that was definitely a factor for me.
We can like make it official for next rounds.
Yeah, just a tip to
we
everyone.
We can make it for official. Yeah. Are we officially detracting 0.5 for abrupt ending and starting?
I don't agree with that.
No, let's just let everyone decide.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about Cyanide. The operatic vocals make you unique in this round. Great energy, I was sucked into the song. The compressor is a bit off though, you need more. The lower volume notes were hard to hear to me. The harmonies were beautiful though, you had a nice run in there. I liked the character voice in the middle, it brought personality to the song. I needed some more dynamics though, it's not an ideal song choice. It doesn't allow for much sustain either. But still, I got you. I voted you through with a 7.5.
You have decent audio quality. Might need a bit of balancing work. Like Petri said, might need some compressor and volume envelope to properly balance the vocals volume so that they don't get drowned by the instrumental. Because like your softer lower parts were like drowning inside of the instrumental, and you had good pitch control and showcases of vocal transitions and good dynamic control and emotional delivery. And I appreciate the touch of vocal cracks, inflections, and different vocal tones. In a sense, this felt like a very dramatic performance, and I appreciate the clean harmonies. I have a nitpick. Is this a nitpick? I would have loved for more belting power from you. So I don't think it's a nitpick. So I would suggest playing around some more with EQ and compressor and show us some more in the future. You definitely need to show that belting power at some point because you have the range, you have the transitions, you have the softness, you have the knowledge of harmony. The one thing that you're lacking in the vocal production is just belting, basically, or sustain. So that's why I give you an A and a S.
I just didn't like the song choice. I think that was the overarching. I felt like it was a little strange of a song choice for a competition. The beginning cuckoos were like kind of weird. They didn't feel completely like you know when you give backing vocals, you still need to sound confident on them. Like it sounded like you weren't sure whether to sing them or not, and they were just a little bit pitchy. Contrasting Petri, actually, I thought your tone was a little too choiry for the song, and I thought it was just a little too much. Your layers were not in sync and are too loud together, and I said there was some pitchy areas. And also another contrast to Petri. I thought it was too performance-y. Like,
Performance-y?
I think
Is that a word?
like the character
Dramatic,
like, voice,
dramatic.
the character voice and the way like you were expressing felt like more like I'm not sure, like more like acting rather than singing. Like it was a little.
Okay.
The main thing was the song choice that threw me off.
Yeah,
I agree
did
about
say
the
that it's
song
a
choice though.
Well, at least it showcased a lot. So I'm like in the middle. I don't necessarily disagree, but like it shows a lot. I guess it's just like things that are not properly polished. That's why I don't. Well, I enjoyed it. The song choice is like quite unique compared to like the others.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not country, it's not rock, it's not musical.
Yeah. I have a thing for uniqueness, as you guys have probably noticed in the show.
Yeah, this one is definitely unique.
Yeah, so that definitely swayed me. Maybe I put too much emphasis on uniqueness. I don't know.
Well, to each their own.
Yeah.
That's why we have 3 judges
Yeah.
to break
Yeah.
you down.
If it's unique, then maybe we're not gonna get it again. So why should we get
True.
rid of it that soon? That's the logic behind it.
If you happen to be unique and you happen to have the body, the basics for it,
Yeah.
I would like completely support you. If you're trying to sound unique, but you don't have like the even the basics like pitch control, like you don't have that, or like at least the dynamics, at least one of the two, it's a little hard to like say that is this really the right choice or not? Like it's like a dilemma.
We have decided the top 29.
Wait.
So- what? What's the issue?
He's
I'm
coughing.
Oh. Okay, Hooney's
I
dying.
was coughing.
It would be funny if that was the outro and you just see Hooney coughing in the back.
That will be included in the outtakes.
You're just like, guys, congratulations.
Congratulations.
We have decided the top 29, and we can't wait to find out who the 30th spot goes to. Depends on your voting. So when this video is gonna be posted, it's gonna be either posted during voting or after voting. So we don't know the top 30 spot yet, but we have decided our spots now. So congratulations to them. Really excited to see what you do in the future. Well done, everyone. It's not hard to stand out against 63 other singers. So either way, you all should be proud of yourselves for trying. And yeah, it was a really hard decision.
Yeah, it's a half cut, all right?
Yeah,
More
than half.
You should feel good, and then you should also be prepared.
Yeah.
Wait, Petri, you said it's not hard to stand out. Instead
Did I
of
say it's not hard to stand out?
Yeah, it's not hard to stand
you
out.
Oh, I mean, it is hard to stand out. Of
Please
course.
just notice.
Rewind.
Okay, sorry. It's not hard to stand out if you're Angelina or Hooney.
Okay.
Okay, the glaze is
Stop
real.
it.
This is. I think Petri is like channeling inner John right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, all he has to say is my goats.
My goats.
I don't use
mean,
that kind of language.
The ones that got through, you're the goats. But beware, next round might be a little tricky for you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Thank
I will
you
go
for
wrong.
today.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Stick around so you don't miss the upcoming results. If you like the show, please consider subscribing, giving a thumbs up, and leaving a comment.